Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are the scouting staff for the Hula Bowl. Today, I have with me one of the athletes who participated in that event this season. His name is Ahmarean Brown. He is a wide receiver out of South Carolina. Nice to have you today, buddy.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
So, of course, we had you at the Hula Bowl, somewhat of a
Yep.
local guy out of the Tampa area. So, hope you and your family really enjoyed yourself at the Hula Bowl. But,
Oh, yeah.
AB, you've kind of put yourself in a good position lately, being very fast dude. Let's just be real that people really need to
hmm
know. If they don't know you yet, let's introduce you to the world. So go ahead and introduce yourself and first tell us where you're from.
So obviously, my name is Ahmarean Brown, wide receiver, South Carolina. I grew up in Tampa, Florida, and yeah, I'm a Tampa native.
Yeah, having my notes, you're at Tampa Catholic as
Yep.
well as Jefferson High School.
Yep.
Um, obviously out of the Tampa area, and was also a standout track and field athlete there. So, can you kind of share a little bit about your time in high school, you being a high school athlete, and any stories you want to share from those days?
Yeah. So kind of when I was growing up, I also ran track a little bit. Me being fast, I kind of always wanted to make sure I stayed fast. And yeah, track was one of those things that helped me, become also a good football player. So yeah, so in high school, um, I was advised that I should run track, and I ended up running track my freshman year. My first meet ever, I ended up running a 10.8 in my 100 meter, which was probably the fastest as a freshman, probably in a while. And so that was kind of how my journey in track started in high school, and I ended up making the state championship as well my freshman year, which is also exciting. I got that experience early. Coming in as a what are you 15 in high school when you first go to high school? 15, I think, somewhere around there. So got that experience early, and that was fun. Running track was fun.
Cool. I have in my notes you were a 10-4 guy ultimately. You said again when you first started as a freshman,
Yeah.
10-8, but I think your PR is a 10-4 uh, for the 100 and a 22 for the 200, which, dude, I could never hit those numbers when I was in
hmm
high school. I mean, I think my best like 200 was like maybe, I don't know, it was terrible, man. It was probably like I might have gotten to 30 seconds. But
No
dude,
way.
that's just an insane number that you're able
Uh-huh.
to get. Again, for people that don't understand, those are elite numbers for a guy coming out of high school. Obviously you're a football player. So
Yep.
you're not just a track guy. So what is the
Yep.
biggest difference for you being a track guy versus or being a football guy versus a track guy? Can you talk a little bit about the like the training and kind of what goes into it?
Yeah, I want to go back for a second for the 10-4. Yeah, I ran that my junior year in high school. I was fourth in the state at that time, and I didn't run my senior year because I went to college early, but we'll get into that. But yeah, so track kind of I say it definitely helped me work on my speed, my mobility, being able to accelerate very quick because in track those races are fast, so you got to be able to get to point A to point B very fast. So with me, coming in high school, that kind of helped me um, learning how to be explosive, out of my break, being explosive, off the jump, when you're starting to run a route, and those things kind of went hand in hand. Um, when I talked to a lot of college coaches, they were also interested in me running track and my track numbers as well. So I think that was a big deal for me coming out of high school and during high school was to have both of those and not only just run track, but actually be pretty good at it, which kind of helped me as well. So I think those went hand in hand. The training track, people don't understand track training is totally different, and it is very hard as well. And that I think that they went hand in hand, and it helped me a lot.
I mean, certainly help you on the football field with that speed, like you said. I mean,
Hmm.
getting a quick jump at the snap, and certainly being able to take the top off defenses and just
Right,
blaze by people, which I'm sure you've
right.
done in your time. So let's continue on. I mean,
Hmm.
you're coming out of high school, and like you said, I mean, maybe perhaps some possibilities running track at the collegiate level. But it turns out again, we're looking at a football player. That was the sport that you decided to pursue.
Right.
So why, man? What is it about football that you love so much?
I don't know, man. I've played it since I was about 6 or 7, and since then I haven't missed one single year of football. I think is football is just a part of me. I feel weird when I'm not playing football, especially around this time because I'm used to being, in spring practice or something right now. So me just, chilling and working out every day is kind of weird for me. But football is in me, and it's just something that I love. It's a sport that brings so much excitement. For others, it looks scary, for those who don't really play the game. But for us, it's fun, like to run around and hit each other, run past people, try to shake people and this and that. It's just something you gotta love. It's something that gotta be in you. You can't just try football. You gotta and make it this far. You gotta actually love it. You gotta want to do it, especially through the rough times we go through as athletes. So I think it's just something that's in me. Football is a part of me, and I couldn't see myself without playing this sport.
Good. So, out of high school, you end up going to Georgia Tech first. I mean,
Yeah,
again, I mean, I know we're talking. I mean, you finished up at South Carolina, but it was
yeah.
Georgia Tech first. So, talk about Georgia Tech and maybe some people who I don't know, were huge influences for you during your time there.
So before I went to Georgia Tech, me and Coach Collins, Jeff Collins, who's the defensive coordinator for UNC right now, North Carolina. So me and him, we talked a lot before I ended up committing, and he was just a guy that I wanted to play for. Very passionate about the game. He wanted the best out of me, not only as a football player, but as a kid. Coming into high school, we're our parents are handing us off to kind of strangers, and then he was someone who we believed in, and he was someone who they felt comfortable, not only my parents, but I felt comfortable being around every single day, being the one I'm supposed to look up to. And he did a great job with me. That I love Georgia Tech. They did a lot for me. They're also a part of my journey. The things I did there, they'll always be a part of me. Also, Coach Dixon, the wide receiver coach, he's with the Baltimore Ravens right now. He works with the quarterbacks. Was a huge influence on my life. Taught me about coverages, about how to play the game, and the things I should do here and there. Huge influence on my life, man. And I can't thank him enough for what he's done for me. Even when I decided to transfer, him and Coach Collins were all hands on deck. Trying to get me into wherever I wanted to go. They had nothing but good things to say about me, and I can't thank them enough. Also, one more, I'm very, I love these guys to death, man. I never had trouble with them. They always, stood there for me. They always watched out for me. But Coach Choice, the running back coach he works for Texas right now. He's the running back coach for Texas. Me and him spent a lot of time because he was also my coach for punt return, kick returns, and stuff like that for special teams. Me and him chopped it up a lot. The realest dude, probably one of the realest dudes I ever met. Super cool, man. He's gonna get on you, but he's gonna get the best out of you every day. So I salute everybody at Georgia Tech, man. The players, the coaches. I had tons of fun there, and that was, just a piece of the journey that I'm on right now.
Gotcha. I mean, you were there at Georgia Tech for a couple seasons. Decided to transfer. Ended up
Yeah.
obviously going to South Carolina, where you continued your journey, man. I mean, you continued playing. whether it be special teams or obviously as a wide receiver. Talk
Mhm.
about maybe perhaps the differences that maybe you were used at Georgia Tech versus South Carolina, or maybe similarities.
So when I got to South Carolina, first and foremost, I want to thank Coach Beamer for just giving me the opportunity coming out of the portal. A lot of guys don't get a chance to move up. I would say coming out of the portal, some guys tend
Sure.
to, you know what I mean? Some guys tend to not want to go where they are expected to go or something like that. So I got a chance to play in the SEC, which is the highest level in college football.
Mhm.
In a lot of guys' opinion, in my opinion, and just that experience was something that I don't regret, that I don't take for granted. Being in that environment, obviously, a lot of people see Willie B, South Carolina on social media, and then when a lot of people talk about it, but to be in there and experience that environment week in and week out, it's amazing. Like I said, can't thank Coach Beamer enough. Can't thank Coach Step. He's the receiver coach for University of Illinois right now. Man, did he do a great job with us. For me, will be a coach that'll be invited to my wedding. Will be wherever he wants to come. He's welcome, man. He's I can't speak enough about him, man. He's done so much for me. My first year being there, not going the way I wanted to, being down that whole year, and he stuck by my side, man. He just told me to keep working. Everything will fall in place. And he earned my respect. He earned my trust. I trust that guy in my life. Love him to death, man. And the South Carolina as a whole, the fan base, the players, the coaches, the environment, Columbia in general, special place, man. Can't thank anybody there enough. They've done so much for me, man. And I'm also another huge part of my journey, and they'll always be with me as well.
Gotcha. I mean, again, used somewhat in a similar fashion. I do think a lot of people, when they try and look at you as a prospect, I mean, we're looking at a guy who's maybe a slot receiver, outside receiver, gonna be a huge asset on special teams.
Yeah.
Talk about perhaps what you feel separates you from everybody else, dude. Obviously, we know it's the speed. But outside of the speed, is there anything else about you as a prospect that you think sets you apart?
Yeah, and again, I want to thank Coach D'Lo as well, Coach Loggins. He's the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. He helped me really kind of understand who I was. He put me in positions that I've never been before, and he kind of helped me explore um, and find out who I really was. And he talked about it in also one of his interviews last year before the season, just the type of player that I was. And like you said, a lot of people think, oh, he's just a slot guy because he's short or he's smaller. But in my opinion, I might be better out as an outside receiver because I think I can do so much. Just obviously, I can run. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's just fast," but I think I get in and out of my breaks well. I think I have, I know the game. I know coverages. I know concepts. I know a lot of those things, and I'm also a team player. Like, yeah, I help the younger guys. I help my teammates understand, what should be done, and when during the games when we're trying to go over things on the sideline and adjust. I'm one of those guys who can give my input because I know what's going on and I can help the other guys around me. I think I'm a great team. If you ask, in my team, I think I'm a great teammate. I'm a joy to be around. I like to make people laugh. I like to joke all the time. I don't like really those sad or mad moments. I like to be happy. It's life, man. You don't want to be sad every day in life because you don't live forever. So I think I'm just a joy to be around. I think I bring a lot to the table. Also, special teams. I have experience returning, whether that's punt return or they have the new rule in the NFL with the kick return. That I think I think I can do pretty good. With the new layout. So I think I bring a lot to the table, and I'm just I'm ready for that one team to fall in love with me, and I'm ready to just go to work.
Yeah, I mean, with these new kickoff rules, dude, you give you 20 yards to work with. I mean, that's
Yeah,
easy.
and
So,
they gotta let you catch the ball. They gotta let you catch the ball first, and then you got nothing but space. So
Yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of interesting things happening now with the rules, whether or
yeah,
not people just don't want to kick to you and it'll be
right,
a touchback or
right,
something like that. But we'll see what this year has in store for us. But
right.
Marion, want to also ask you, again, we look at you as both a receiver and return specialist. As a receiver, what is I don't know, maybe one of your favorite plays when called in the huddle, or obviously when called before, because not a lot of guys huddle that much anymore. But
Mhm.
whenever you hear it called, what's your favorite play that you like running for your quarterback?
So at Georgia Tech, there was this one play that I knew I was getting the ball. Like no matter what, it was a deep route. So I can either run a deep post, a wide depart fade, or a seam. It all depended on the coverage, it all depended on who was on top of me, who was head up, inside, the leverage, whatever. And it was for me, obviously, so when that play was called in the huddle, I try not to walk out with a smile, but in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, it's about that time. And I think I scored a few times on that play at Georgia Tech. And at South Carolina, I said this last year, it was a play where I kind of run like a quick flat and I catch the ball and I do my thing. And I got that a few times this year. And it's a lot of those plays where it's called in the huddle, and I kind of know that it's going to me. I get kind of happy. I get kind of excited because I know once I touch the ball, anything can happen. So there
You
was a
gotta be
few.
excited if the ball's coming your way, and of course,
Yeah, you have to be. If you're not, you don't
yeah,
love the game, man.
you don't deserve to be out there if
Yeah,
you don't want the ball in your hands, of course.
nah.
Obviously, give a guy like you some space. Who knows what'll happen with it?
Right.
Let's talk about some of your maybe biggest highlights. Do you have one of you as a returner? Can you maybe go back a little bit and see if there's anything there or what?
Well, when we beat Clemson 2 years ago, one of my punt returns kind of set up a scoring drive. Clemson likes to do kind of like rugby kicks, so they're kicking the ball on the ground and letting it roll. So that's when Josh Van was a returner that year. He ended up getting hurt. I think around the in the first quarter of that game. So I was up next, ended up getting my shot to return. And they keep the line drive, it's bouncing. But they're all close to the ball and I end up getting a good hop. I end up catching it, kind of taking it to the left, running down the sideline for a few, and I ended up having like a 30 some yard return. It set up us in good field position. We end up scoring that drive. So that was kind of one of my recent memories as a returner.
Cool. I was also going to ask you, you did have at least one season with Spencer Rattler as your
Hmm.
quarterback. Um, tell me a little bit about what it means to have a guy like that, under center that you can just count on.
Right. So being with Spencer, man, that was kind of the first time I played with the quarterback who had like that name. You know what I mean? Like he's coming off a year before where he was in the Heisman conversation and he's coming out of high school as like the number one recruit in the nation and he has so much, around his name, surrounding his name. And that was the first time I got a chance to actually play with somebody and he didn't disappoint. I mean, seeing that guy in the building every day, the way he works and the way he studies the game and man, you got to be special to be someone like him and someone like him, who has like 500,000 followers on Instagram and who's highly known. It's easy for him to get caught up or be like, I've made it already. Like, I'm Spencer Rattler. I don't have to do anything. But to see him work every day, to be one of the first guys in, one of the last to leave, one to throw, and want everybody to be great. And it was special playing with him. And me and Spencer still talk. I think we just talked the other day. But man, Spencer is a great guy to be around. And I hope that the NFL does not let him slip because man, whoever gets him is gonna get a baller. He's gonna get a guy that's down to earth that just want to work. He just wants to win, man. And even during our player only meetings, you know, just what he talks about. All of it is just about winning. Like he doesn't care about passing for 9 touchdowns. Like it's easy for him to, as a quarterback, and to be Spencer, to I want to throw the ball every play and this and that. But he just wants to win. And even if he doesn't throw for 1,000 yards, he's still the first guy in there, happy, excited, just because we won. So just to be in the building with him, man, it was special, man. That's my dog. That's my dog for life, man. You know, it was great to be around him.
Gotcha. Had to ask you at least one Spencer question. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to, take away from you so much,
Nah,
but dude, it is possible that perhaps you guys might end up being reunited once again. I mean, it would
I
certainly
hope
be
so.
very interesting
I
if
hope
the
so.
team that, if there's a team that gets both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be exciting to have that, you know, connection once again for sure.
Man, hey, that'll be crazy, man. I hope so. That'd be crazy. I
Well,
hope
let's
so, though.
let's start praying for it, and we'll
I
see
know, right?
what happens.
Hey, I'll
But
take it.
yeah, I mean, AB, you put together a pretty solid resume, a one that we really felt deserved an invitation to the Hula Bowl. That's one of the reasons why we obviously called you. I think
Hmm.
myself, I was the one who called you up,
Hmm.
trying to figure out how to say your first name. Took me a minute to figure that
Uh-huh.
out. It is Ahmarean. I know that
Hmm.
now. But we felt again, I am not going to pass on a guy with 4.3 speed.
Hmm.
You cannot do that. A guy that is a phenomenal, special teams guy, a guy that can get down the field as a receiver and get open. It kind
Hmm.
of seemed like a no-brainer for us. So, bro, I got to talk to you about Hula Bowl.
Let's do
Again,
it.
tell me about some highlights for you, and really what worked for you that week.
So that week was that was a special week. You know, I got to talk to you. I think it was the when did we talk? It was a couple weeks before, maybe something like that.
Somewhere it was sometime in December, man. It was probably like
Yeah,
right before Christmas.
yeah, something like that. But man, that was exciting for me, my family to, get a call from you and get that invitation. You know, it's something that we prayed for, just to get invited to an all-star game, and obviously up the street in Orlando, which was cool for me because I get to drive up about an hour. I'm from here, so that was fun. And man, that week was special. You know, I got to meet a lot of guys, who I'm not around, which is fun. I made a ton of, new friends. You know, I got a group chat with a few of the guys who I was down there with before, a few of the wideouts, and I actually got to reunite with a few teammates, which was fun. I got to see some old teammates and play against them. Do some one on ones against some guys that I used to before, which was fun. I mean, it was just an exciting week. A lot of the top guys competing, having fun. We learned a lot. Got to get coached by some great coaches, and I think it was just exciting, man. I think the Hula Bowl did a great job. We had tons of scouts. It was amazing. We had everything we needed. It was amazing, man. A lot of sponsors, a lot of those things, a lot of people that we met that we can network with and connect with just outside of the football part. And it was fun, man. I really enjoyed myself. My family didn't have to travel too far to come see me play. And it was a fun week, man. I thank you guys. If I didn't already, thank you guys for just taking the chance on me because you didn't have to. There's a million guys playing, college football and who's trying to come out for the draft. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity because I know, nothing's just given to anyone. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys for putting on a wonderful event, not even event, a week for us to enjoy ourselves and also do the things we love. So it was very fun. I really enjoyed it.
Um, hey man, we did feel like you obviously deserved it. And you also had an opportunity to network and
Right.
get a chance to sit down with these NFL teams,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
perhaps for the first time. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, you're kind of wrapping your brain around this whole idea of you getting into the NFL very soon,
Hmm.
talking to these guys. How did those interviews work for you, man? Give me like a ballpark of who you talked to. I don't even know all the specifics, but I mean, uh, give me a, just some summary of how that went.
Yeah, I talked to a few teams, man. I think the first team I talked to was the Browns. That went well. I talked to the Browns. I talked to the Eagles, the Bears, the Jets, the Jags. I'm missing. There's a few. I'm sorry, I'm going blank right now.
No, it's okay. I mean, I'm sitting here
But yeah,
counting. I mean, we're at about 4 or 5, and I'm pretty sure you probably had somewheres up to like 8 or 10 when it was all said
yeah. I
and
think I
done.
had between. I think I had around 8 or 9.
That's fair. That's a
It's
good
in my
number,
phone.
man.
It's in my phone. It's in my phone. But
No, it's
yeah, it was a great experience, man. That was my first time just being in that setting and just getting interviewed by some scouts, and I think they
awesome.
went very well.
And then after that, things continued to go well for you. I mean, I
Yep.
feel like you did a phenomenal job at your pro day. Dude, you ran a 4.31. There are not a lot of guys who run as fast as you do. And so again, any thoughts about that pro day for you? Let's talk about the field work, man. I mean, how did that go for you?
I didn't want to. 4.31 was probably the worst that I wanted to run. Uh, I was talking to a lot of people about it, and they were thinking I was crazy, but I kind of wanted to be in the 4.25, 4.28 area, which I did when I was training. But I mean, stuff happens. I'm still in a great category, but
You are, man.
yeah,
That's great.
the field work was amazing. You mean the drills or the actual
Either one,
like
man. Go ahead.
we did a individual with the Broncos scout, which was cool. It was kind of pretty fast because we also obviously we had Spencer, and we had to go over his script to throw. So we did a quick little warm up, little box drills, and the drills they do at pro day. And we got to throw about 60 to 70 throws with Spencer. Just kind of trying to make us look good. We're running our best routes. We're all trying to impress the 62 scouts that were there, which was fun. I mean, pro day was everything we can ask for, man. Just an opportunity to showcase ourselves in front of so many scouts. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was amazing.
Gotcha. Again, for people that don't know, I mean, I know you have several local days that
Yep.
you have set aside with some teams as well. I'm sure it's probably a bunch of the local people, with those local, local ones. So like
Hmm.
what, Buccaneers,
Yeah, I got the Bucks and the Panthers next week,
so
actually.
Bucks and Panthers next week. I mean, dude, you're gonna put yourself into a position where one of these scouts, man, like they're gonna fall in love with you and maybe even draft you. So we are getting to a point where we're
Mhm.
gonna have to close up our interview time here very soon. But is there
Mhm.
anything else about this guy that you want people to know about you before we close up?
Um, I mean, I like to play the game, Madden 2K, whatever. I want to get into fishing and golf. Golf. I want to start golfing. I heard it was very fun, and I heard it was very competitive. So if anybody want to teach me how to play some golf a little bit better, that would be good. Um, I think I'm just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't like to talk too much about myself. I don't like to, boost myself up. But
That's what we're here to do. So don't sweat it. So
I
um,
mean,
I mean, certainly very competitive. I mean, you obviously like to play multiple sports, and of course, get on the game and play a little bit whenever you have some time. Uh, do want to go ahead and close
mhm,
up our time. I mean, again, we've talked about you and your story, and that there
yeah,
have been several scouts who have already sat down with you that you've interviewed with. But I'm
yeah.
sure there's maybe perhaps a few other scouts that have yet to meet you. And so, why don't you go ahead and tell them as we close up why they should draft you, sign you, and bring you in? So, go ahead and close up our time.
I think that I'm a guy who, besides the football part, I don't get in any trouble. I'm a high character guy, as is what my coaches say as well. I don't get into trouble. I'm always on time. I'm always there to work. I'm always ready to take notes, ready to get better. And bringing me in first and foremost, I'm a guy that likes to learn. I want to learn from the older guys. I want to learn from the guys who've been there about what I should and shouldn't do. And you want to learn off others' mistakes and not your own mistakes, is what a lot of people say. So I'm competitive, very competitive. I'll do play whatever you want me to play. Special teams is not a problem for me, and I'm a guy who just loves to compete. I love to work. I'm ready to work, and each and every day you're gonna get the best out of me. And high character, love to compete, and man, I just like to have fun, man. Let's just have fun. Let's win some games, and let's just enjoy our time. Everybody don't get this opportunity, man, and I'm grateful. Just to be here today and just to have this opportunity to change my family's lives, and all they've done for me is just want to give everything back to them. So I think that if you haven't reached out to me already, that you should. I'd love to talk to anybody, and I'm here. I'm here if anybody needs me. We can chat whenever.
Awesome. Well, AB, best of luck to you in this process. I know sometimes it can be nerve-wracking, but I mean, it seems as if you're enjoying it, daily. But again, we have
Mhm.
with us Marion Brown, wide receiver, South Carolina. Appreciate you, bro. You take care.
Thank you. I appreciate it.